Hello and welcome to another Oblivion Plays FSX video. In this episode I'll be flying the FeelThere ERJ 145 in the BMI regional livery and flying one of BMI's regional virtual routes from Frankfurt Airport, EDDF, to Bristol Airport, EGGD. BMI Regional is one of the three virtual airlines that I fly for. Though less regularly as they only fly the ERJ 135 and 145. The Frankfurt scenery is by Aerosoft. It's one of their older sceneries, being available since 2007, but it's been updated to include the new runway 07 left and 25 right, which was opened in October 2011 in real life. Aerosoft are currently working on the version 2, which is set to be released in September 24th this year. Aerosoft are also revisiting their Amsterdam scenery as well, which is another one of their oldest sceneries. So it looks like they're going back to their older sceneries and revisiting them to upgrade them to their current standards, which are absolutely brilliant. But in terms of the airport in real life, Frankfurt is by far the busiest airport by passenger traffic in Germany. It's the third busiest in Europe after London Heathrow and Paris Charles de Gaulle, and it's the 11th busiest worldwide in 2014, with 59.6 million passengers using the airport. It serves over 260 destinations in 113 countries via 107 airlines, so it makes it the airport with the most international destinations in the world. It's interesting that Frankfurt is only the 5th largest city in Germany, yet it still holds such a dominance with the size of this airport. Berlin-Tegel, for example, is only the 4th largest airport in Germany, despite Berlin being the largest city in Germany. I'm not quite sure of the reason why, but I'd guess the history of the airport and the fact that it has had an additional runway built after the Berlin airlift placed it in a good position historically, allowing it to develop over the last half of the 21st century. But anyway, enough of the history lesson, let's get into the cockpit and do some flying. Alright, so the first thing to do is go over to the overhead panel, which is the other way, and flick on the two batteries, which are these two buttons here.
Power unit, okay.
And you hear the aura warning, that's all good. And then you want to flick on the second fuel pump, and that just fuels the APU, which we can get on now. And then we'll just wait for that to start up. And once it's started, we can get the avionics on, which are these two buttons here. So basically, from what I remember, it's what's called black panel logic. So if the light is on, that means it's off. So I think the AP is on now, so we can switch the two avionics on and make sure that the emergency lights are in the arm position. So you just hold on to it and pull it up. And then what you need to do is make sure everything is off except for these four here. So we turn off turn on the windshield heats. And that should be that. So we can do the dark and cold checklist.
Cold and dark checklist. APU on. Emergency lights. Armed. Avionics. Master. 2 on. FMS.
Right, and then we need to program the FMS. So we just confirm. Well, let me just turn off that warning light because otherwise it's going to keep bonging all the way through this. So yeah, let's go over to the FMS, confirm our position using the GPS position, and then we're going to Bristol. So that's Echo Golf Golf Delta. And then we can insert the departure, but before we do that, we just need to get departure clearance. Frequency is 121.9.
United X-ray, clear free take correct, and report your parking position. Okay, schönen Dank, take on 1172.
Clearance delivery, BMI 1822W, information, whiskey, request clearance.
BMI 1822W, 8 is correct. ATC clearance destination airport via BID Tango 3 Foxtrot departure route. Runway 25, initial altitude 5000. Expect flight level 103 within 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 3512. QNH 1014.
Cleared by MBIB Tango 3 Foxtrot. Initial altitude is 5000, flight level 110, within 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 3512, BMI 1822W.
BMI 1822W. Read back correct. Contact ground on 121.8.
Roger, 121.8, BMI 1822W.
Alright, so after BIBT, which is the end of the SID, we're going to UZ29.
And then taxi away my blue.
It's the way you insert waypoints in the FMS with FeelThere aircraft. You put in the airway, then put the full stop, and then the waypoint. So in this case, it's NIK, and then that fills in everything up until the waypoint, and then it's UL610.
Ground control,
to LAM.
request taxi, 310. Taxi via November 7, November 5, November 3, November Lima, holding position, runway 25.
And then UL179.
19.9 by November 7, November 5, November
to
November,
CPT.
holding position, runway 25, tower, 19.9.310.
And then that's the start of the SID. So if you go to the performance page,
taxi via November Lima, holding position, runway 25.
sorry, the nav page, and then arrival,
via November Lima to holding position, runway 25, tower on
and the runway predicted is 27, so it'll be ILS 27, and then it's the BRI-1C.
Taxi via Papa November to gate Bravo 28. Via Papa November to gate Bravo 28, 966.
Well, we don't know what the transition is yet, so I'll go straight on to the star, which is the BRI-1C, and I'll activate that. So that's our route put in, and then whilst this is being done, I'll just cross catering and refueling and boarding. So we need to put in the fuel before the next bit. We then have to go to the performance init page, and then we work through these pages. So we don't do anything for the first few pages. But our cruise altitude is 340. And the transition altitude at Frankfurt 6000.
Tower Excellence 3401 via Alpha, Mike Blue and gate Delta 3.
Delta 3, Alpha, Mike Blue.
And then we just need to wait for the fuel weight in a second, but we can also put in the passengers, which is 47 passengers. So we needed £6,627 worth of fuel, which is 3,005 kilograms, because you have to put it into kilograms for the default FSX fuel page, which is what I just did. I can't record it because for some reason OBS doesn't capture it. So I rounded it down to 3,000. Those £5 weren't really important. 5 kilograms weren't really important, so you can see that there. So what you need to do is just put the 6,610 in for fuel. The APU is already eating through our weight.
To the left, Alpha 3 and Echo. Alpha 3 and Echo, excellent. Echo, Papa.
And then we've only got £329 worth of cargo. Obviously that's not quite right, but that's what we're working off. And so the gross weight is about right, so 43,870 pounds.
Initialized. Speeds.
Right, and then we need to insert the speeds, which you can do quite simply by just going onto the MFD button, and then the speeds button, and then calc.
Check trims.
And then trim needs to be set to +7. Oops. It's a little bit sensitive. There you go.
Set. Takeoff data.
And then the takeoff data, we need to set to 0. So 0 is the 0 point. And then the speeds button, and then calc. And then trim needs to be set to +7. Oops. A little bit sensitive. Yep.
7. Takeoff data. 7. Set. Takeoff data.
we just basically, well, we keep it at takeoff 1,
Ground control.
and then the temperature we set to outside air temperature, which is 16 degrees. So you click this button here, and that selects the first one. We click it again to confirm, and then we just increase this to 16. We don't need any anti-ice.
Enter. End of checklist.
That's basically the cold and dark checklist done. So just wait for our passengers to get on board and then we can head off.
Speedway 16 for Golf, taxi via Echo and Alpha 5, hold short of Alpha.
Alright, so let's get the doors closed. So that's the main door closed, and then we'll get the passenger door, sorry, the baggage door closed. That's green, so that's all the doors closed. Right, so the before start checklist. Get the red beacon on. The AP bleed we switch on by clicking that button. Let's actually get up here. The ignitions are on auto. We get the other fuel pump on. And then we're pretty much ready to go, so I'll just go work through the before start checklist. Let's make sure we haven't missed anything.
Ready to start checklist.
Fasten belts, no smoking.
Yep, need to get those signs on.
On. Red beacon. On. Fuel pump power. 2. On. Pneumatic panel. Checked. Emergency parking brake. On. Steering. In doors. Closed. End of checklist.
Alright, so let's get permission to start up and pushback.
Ground control, BMI 1822W. Request start up and pushback.
BMI 1822W. Startup and pushback approved.
Approved. BMI 1822W.
Let's get GS6 working. Just setting it to FMS for the for our navigation. Whilst I was thinking of it.
Ground German 784, Schmidt-Tach, another clear taxi. 784, Tach, 3 to right via Alpha, hold short of 25. German 784, 3 to right via Alpha, holding short of 25.